The Louis Bellina Show, lunchtime. Which lunchtime is thanks to Rudy's Barbecue, home of the green chili stew. Lunchtime here on the Louis Bellina Show. Ticket booth officially open. Maybe you just tuned in. Hi, hello, and welcome. If not, you knew. I gave you a warning. I gave you a heads up. You have from right now till 1 o'clock to text. You text, you're registered to win a $50 gift card to Rudy's Barbecue. Lunchtime, thanks to Rudy's Barbecue. See how that works? And the texting is kind of simple. It's roll call. I do roll call 3 times a year, maybe 4. That's it. And roll call is simple. You tell me who you are. You tell me where you're listening. And you tell me how you're listening. I just want to know 3 things. I love getting to know you, getting to know all about you. There's a song in there somewhere. But still, I'm not going to write a song today. I promised myself I wouldn't. Text me, who are you? Where are you listening? How? And the how part, you could be listening 11:50 a.m., 93.7 FM, radioagaland.com. You can be listening Alexa. You can be listening on the Zone app. There's a million ways. And that's one of the beautiful things about the Zone. However you want to, we make it possible so you can. That's all we care. If you want to listen, hey, it's possible with the Zone. So, you can also text if you have a question, comment, opinion, but I need those 3 things. And then you can text, I love Aggie baseball. Aggie softball made me cry. A&M women, national champs. Woo! Whatever works. But I'm doing roll call. And somewhere before we're done at 1 o'clock, I'll probably jump inside the Texas Mobile and Loop Express inbox and take a look and share who, where, how. I don't want to do all 5 W's. This isn't a journalism class, but who, where, how, and you can win a $50 gift card to Rudy's Barbecue. I'm going to do roll call. 979-693-1150. We're going to. The show's named after me. We tend to go where I want to go. Football, A&M, college. A&M and college. A&M got this huge commitment on Friday. They beat Miami head to head for a 5-star offensive lineman, Mark Matthews, number 3 offensive tackle in the 2027 class. They went into Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, to get the 3rd-ranked offensive tackle in the 2027 class. So they beat Miami heads up for a Fort Lauderdale kid. Miami, LSU, and Georgia were the 4 finalists. Then Georgia specializes in 5-star offensive linemen. This is a Miami kid, and say what you want about Cristobal. He recruits like a machine. Mark Matthews announced his pledge in a live ceremony streamed by 247 Sports on Friday evening. Now, I don't know what source, what not source, who's the source, whatever you want to call it, but allegedly it was A&M and Miami were the final 2. And this was hand-to-hand. Quote, significant financial packages on the table by everybody involved. And I'm like, well, yeah, I don't think you get to dance with a kid like, with a kid like this without it. St. Thomas Aquinas High School in Fort Lauderdale. Now, if you go by Rivals, he's the 5th 5-star for 2027. If you go by ESPN recruiting, he's the 4th 5-star. Either way, you get the point. A&M has 2 5-star offensive linemen, Mike Matthews and Kennedy Brown. Kennedy Brown is like the number 2 offensive tackle in the class. I've also seen him listed as interior offensive lineman. So A&M's got 2 5-star offensive linemen. 2 of the nation's top 5 offensive tackle prospects are Aggies. 2 5-star defenders, edge, 4-star cornerback Henry, and then 5-star safety Cameron Dorsey. So you take a look, 2 offensive linemen 5-stars, and then 1 on each level. Well, not a linebacker, but 5-star D lineman, 5-star cornerback, edge, and then a 5-star safety back end. So, yeah, pretty impressive. It's 5 stars or 4, depending on your service. And it's all the right spots. Edge, back end to offensive lineman. And remember something, none of it counts the portal, where I feel like Elko and his staff absolutely own, destroy the world. Their portal work is amazing. We continue college football. CBSSports.com did something interesting. College football's 10 most complete rosters. College football's 10 most complete rosters. And I'm going to tell you something. For me, my biggest takeaway isn't this is the 10 best teams. Not at all. It is the point of why college football is so volatile right now, why we don't have a dynasty right now, and why the SEC Vegas betting odds over under has not one team that has 10. I think we had 3 that was like 9.5, Georgia, Texas. Maybe there were only 2 at 9.5. But, oh no, nobody was 11, I think. But it's the lowest ever from Vegas. Because when you take a look at these 10 most complete teams, and of the 10 most complete teams, the SEC makes up half of it, 5. But every complete team has a gaping question mark hole that could single-handedly torpedo their season. That's most complete. Notice the word not complete. It's qualified. Most. There's not a complete team in the country. In the olden days, you would start, when you had a 14 college football playoff, Alabama under Saban was a complete team. They weren't the most complete. They were complete. They never had a hole. They didn't have to sit there and go, yeah, but what about the O-line? Yeah, but their wide receiving core. Alabama never had a hole. Georgia never had a hole. Georgia just had to play Alabama and couldn't come out of the SEC in a 14 playoff because they had to play Bama in the regular season, lose to them, and then lose to them a second time in the SEC title game and be eliminated from a 14 playoff because they have 2 losses, both against Alabama. So you know what why they weren't complete? Because they played Bama twice. You get the point there, right? But when you take a look at these 10 most complete rosters, it tells you why, man, certain teams are locked for the college football playoff. I can lock not one team for a national championship. And it used to be a lot easier before portal, before free agency, before NIL, before there was no such thing as like an NFL senior. Like first round NFL picks are gone their junior year. Or is it their 8th sophomore year with the way you don't even know how players are classified? Let's look at the complete rosters. I'm going to go backwards. I'm not going to start with 1. And you know what? I'm just going to do SEC. Number 10 is Alabama as a complete roster. Yet a new quarterback. Yet defensively, they're the softest Alabama team I remember seeing. Even when Alabama wasn't good like the Shula years, they were harder than they are under DeBoer. Because look at the talent they had on defense. If you want to go to just last year, softest Bama team you've seen. And if you're soft in the SEC, you're dead in the water. They're not complete, but they're 10. They have, I feel like, coaching issues. DeBoer, and I guess that's not a group, so maybe it just doesn't count, which when you do most complete roster, coaching isn't roster. But Bama has the 10th most complete roster. There's no talk of them in the college football playoff. This is the least amount of buzz you've heard for a Bama team in decades and decades. But they have a complete roster. Good job for Alabama. Again, I'm just doing the SEC teams on the list. Number 8 is LSU. And if this isn't the biggest load of garbage you've seen, because you can't bring in 50-plus players and pretend to know their roster in any way, shape, or form. To think that you know LSU's roster when they basically portaled in 40-something players is kind of absurd. I don't care how big of an expert. LSU is being picked for the college football playoff. They are very trendy and cool. You think he's going to put it together, Lane Kiffin. He has portal cred from his Ole Miss days. And remember, he just in his last year finally got Ole Miss over the hump. He has more resources. Yeah, but he didn't even have a full portal cycle at LSU. They just had to buy what was available. I mean, you just got to do some reality tempering. Yes, they can make the college football playoff. They need 10 wins. And they did. They got Sam Levitt. I think they got the best quarterback in the portal. They got the best offensive tackle. But they needed so much. You're not going to convince me, well, I said the end of the portal. Yeah, they didn't get to pre-recruit because he wasn't there early enough. They did get the money because I told you this story, if you want to believe it. Like, for example, they were going to give him $30 million. And he said, at this point, you're putting in so much. Just give me the last $10 million I win. I need to win a national championship. Not just, you're giving me enough to build a great roster and win games, but how about we win it all? And the donors were so inspired by that, they gave him the last $13 million he needed. Something weird like that. I mean, that's the modern day. But it's the 8th most complete roster, yet they brought in 40-something new, and you have no clue what the roster is. Presumptuous. Georgia's 3. Georgia recruits at a level that from year to year, they don't need anything. Maybe you have injuries, attrition, you misidentified in the process. So they fill in. Need is always a strong word with Georgia. But when Saban left, Kirby Smart was supposed to inherit the universe. Why have they not? They won, 2 SEC championships? And they just haven't been a factor in the college football playoff. Oh, they were injured and excuses. Am I being unfair when I say Georgia's underachieving in the post-Nick Saban world? 2 back-to-back SEC championships. Lou, you're an idiot. Well, Georgia's one of those programs. I don't think they're in this for SEC championships. What do you think? I don't think they take that banner. I think Georgia's one of those programs that never wants to play in an SEC championship, even though it's in their back door. So 3rd most complete roster, but what are they doing with it? Their offense is still so far behind the times. That's what I think kills them. All that talent, and they just make it so easy to defend all that talent. Nick Saban knew when to modernize. I don't think Kirby Smart does. Who is the number one most complete roster? It's everybody's favorite. I think it's undeniable that they're going to go 17-0. I don't even know why we're going to play the college football season when it's so obvious. But Texas, they say Texas has the most complete roster. Their best positional group or wide receiver. I mean, they have Cam Coleman. They don't even have to put another wide receiver on the field. No one can cover Cam Coleman. Now, look, all joking aside, all smart alecky-ness aside, getting Cam Coleman was brilliant. They did the right thing by any price, anything, anytime. It don't matter because he is the insurance for Arch Manning. Because Arch knows he can just throw it in Cam's zip code. That's it. But Texas has the same problem they had last year that never resolved itself last year, which is O-line. And it never resolved itself last year. They did go get a offensive lineman, but you need 5. And if you want to talk about an Achilles heel, to have a weakness that can derail Cam Coleman, Arch Manning, Hollywood Smothers, Raleek Brown, like they have an embarrassment of riches in the talent positions. Easiest way to derail all of it is O-line. So I will say, I think they're a college football playoff team. I think they're going to win 10. I think the odds are in their favor, but the easiest way to not is to be weak in the wrong position. What's the wrong position, Lou? O-line, 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 O-line. Will their defense step up a level under Will Muschamp? Another question mark. And just because he did it 20 years ago doesn't mean it's guaranteed to happen again today. Now, all these, I'm giving you the hypercritical analysis of all this. I said at the start, I believe that speaks to the problem. It's not a problem. College football is awesome fun, but we have no dynasty. We have no national championship team guaranteed like Bama was. No, they didn't win it every year, but they would fail at 11 wins. So that's the volatility of college football. There is no complete roster. Every team right now is flawed, which is why on any given Saturday, when we go to 24 teams, no one's going to care about the weakness. 24 teams, you're a 9-win. You're an 8-win team, you're going to go. 8-win Alabama will be in the college football playoff for 24 straight years in a 24-team playoff. It just won't mean more in a 24-team playoff. I need a timeout. That most complete roster thing, it just doesn't mean that much. If you have, every team will have a weakness. By definition, something has to be the weakest. It comes down to how fatal is your flaw. And like I said, for Texas, and their weakness is a fatal weakness, because if your biggest weakness is you only have 2 starting wide receivers, and your biggest weakness is you don't have a third, you can live through that. If your weakness is we don't have depth at a position, we got starters, but we don't have depth, you're okay. So there's different types of weaknesses, but when your weakness is we don't know if we have 5 starting O-linemen, let alone depth, you're in trouble. It's the Louis Bellina Show. Lunchtime, thanks to Rudy's Barbecue. It is the Louis Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. Residential and commercial industrial services, it's what they do at CC Electric.
You can get the podcasts of Texans Live, The Louis Bellina Show, or Chip Howard at zone1150.com, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
It is the Louis Bellina Show inside the Charles Schwab studio. And a reminder, we're doing roll call. And if you're new to town, hi, hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us here in Bryan College Station, the Brazos Valley. Roll call is simple. Sometimes, 3 times a year, maybe 4. You tell me who you are, where you're listening, how you're listening. After that, you could say, and I love the Pittsburgh Steelers. I love the Dallas Stars. I love the Houston Astros. I love the Chicago Cubs. You can ask a question after those 3 basic facts of life. Tell me who you are, where you're listening, how you're listening, and you're registered. It's only going to be till 1 o'clock. I'm just doing it lunchtime because lunchtime on the Louis Bellina Show is thanks to Rudy's Barbecue. And I am giving away a $50 gift card to Rudy's Barbecue. See how that works? So roll call is now. Text 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. The ticket booth is open till 1. Ticket booth is thanks to Dixie Tire Company. Dixie Tire Company is located at 301 West William Joel Bryant Parkway. That's in historic downtown Bryan, across from the fire station. Open Monday through Friday till 6, Saturday till 1. And you can always call them at 775-TIRE. 775-TIRE. We're in the college football, Aggie football, the notebook. I just thought it was time to get a shot during the offseason. CBSSports.com did something epic, crazy, awesome that on the Louis Bellina Show all fall we'll be taking a look at. What? Well, easy. I was going to tell you. They do a 1, and man, there's so many teams that jump into D1, that number always changes. But they're one of the few that does a 1-till, and that's the entire D1 rank, and it's now 1 to 138. They updated it to start summer. A&M's 8. I know that's your very first question, but I always like to take the A&M football schedule and then put the numbers onto the schedule and kind of like, oh, so this is their schedule. This is what we have to look at. So it's a 1 to 138 ranking. Who were the biggest movers, good or bad, this offseason? Good question. Appreciate you asking. First off, big movers good. South Carolina moved up 45 spots in the offseason. LSU moved up 40 spots. So South Carolina's 32. That's after moving up 45 spots. LSU's 13. They moved up 40 spots. Florida, the Gators, moved up 25 spots to Florida moved up 36 spots to number 25. Can anybody riddle me this, Batman? What do all 3 teams, South Carolina, LSU, and Florida, What do they all have in common? The top three movers: South Carolina plus 45, LSU plus 40, Florida plus 36. What do they all have in common? I'll give you 10 seconds. I was going to do the Jeopardy doo-doo thing, but it'd sound awful if I was doing it. A&M plays all three. Top three movers in the CBSSports.com 1 to 138 rankings. A&M plays all three. True story. Penn State goes plus 28. They're number 18. Clemson goes plus 28. They're 26. Vanderbilt, they were going to drop. The Diego Pavia era is over, and they go minus 16. They're now at number 31. Virginia, minus 21. I'm going to go straight to the end. North Texas drops 55 spots to number 79. Well, they lost their coach and like 70 players. Yeah, I mean, how else would that play out? So anyway, yeah, that's how it play. If you take a look at the 1 to 138, they got Texas at 2. I'm highlighting the teams that interest me, and we'll get to the A&M schedule, I promise you. But Texas at 2, the Hunchbacks at 4, that's Notre Dame. Georgia at 5, Miami at 7, A&M at 8. Would anybody be pissed if Texas and Miami rematched in the college football playoff? Because the answer is, of course, you wouldn't be. That means A&M's back in the college football playoff. I wouldn't care who they play, and I wouldn't care where they play. To be fair and to be honest with you, it means they're back in the college football playoff. Like, how could you be upset or angry or mad? And yeah, sign me. I'd sign on the dotted line now for a rematch with Miami in the college football playoff. And it has nothing to do with Miami. Yes, please, may I have another college football playoff appearance? Okay, sorry. Back to things at Texas Tech at 9. Yeah, they're going to make the college football playoff because they're playing the Big 12, BYU. And will both BYU and Texas Tech get in? I don't think so. No Sorsby, but they did it last year without Sorsby. So, yeah, they'll be in. OU at 10, Alabama at 11, Ole Miss at 12, Michigan at 16, Tennessee at 17. SMU has done nothing but win. They wanted so into a conference with access that they're turning down the revenue, accepting, I guess it's limited, or is it 0 for 3-4 years? And they're just, dominating the ACC. Missouri at 21, no. Without Hardy, they're not a top 25 team. Florida at 25, Clemson at 26, and that's how far Dabo has fallen. Clemson starting the year unranked, and I would think to myself, yes, why are you talking to yourself? Don't know, and I would stop. But then if I was talking out loud, like if I hosted a sports talk show, if Clemson were to start the year unranked and finish the year unranked, wouldn't that have to be it for Dabo? Or is Clemson more than happy to go the Bobby Bowden route and let Dabo go for 10 years past his expiration date? I'm just kind of pondering what Clemson's position is, because they owe him everything. True, but things move fast and things are severe. I mean, if you're Clemson, you sit there and go, well, we'll have a 2014 playoff. And Dabo can get us into that, can he? I mean, they'd settle like that. But if I'm Clemson, we start the year unranked, we'll let him prove them wrong. And then when he doesn't, don't you move on? Houston's at 27. Vanderbilt at 31. We mentioned that, which if they can start the year 31 and finish the year 31 in the post Diego Pavia era, that tells you how far Vanderbilt's come. TCU at 34. Auburn, 36. Mississippi State at 57. I don't know enough about Mississippi State football, but Jeff Lebby, how much? I mean, he obviously has show signs of progress this year. He's gone. How much? Is 6-6 the only sign? Seriously, how much improvement? Kentucky at 58, but I know a lot of people are stock up on Kentucky. Oklahoma State at 60. They were 1-11 last year. That is a program that bona fide imploded because they knew it was over. Van Gundy got the axe. Nobody cared. 1-11. Arkansas was 2-10. 62. Here on the Louis Bellina Show, we are pro-military academies. And I mean in a hardcore kind of way. Army pops up at 77. Air Force at 96. Pro-military academies on the Louis Bellina Show. Rice at 119. I kind of chuckle. I grew up in Houston, so they're not in the bottom 5 or 10. Good for them. You know who's the bottom? We could fast forward. Bottom 6. Sam Houston State's 133. Ball State 134. Middle Tennessee is 135. Sac State, Sacramento State's 136. Charlotte 137. UMass is 138. Bunch of teams that have no business being in D1, but there's Georgia State 1-11 at 130. Bunch of teams that have no right being in D1, but the check. A&M is playing one of the 15 worst teams in their opener. Missouri State is the opener, right? 126 out of 138. That's 12 worst. You get it. Now, I need to grab a timeout. When we come back, a couple of things I want to do. We will look at the A&M schedule briefly with the 1 to 138. So that's a really good overview of the 2026 season, looking at the A&M football schedule. And it is time, well, it will be shortly, to jump inside the Texas Mobile and Loop Express inbox and start sharing some of your text messages. Because we're doing roll call. You might win a $50 gift card if you text me before 1 o'clock, but it's a very specific text message. Your name, where you're listening, how you're listening. That's roll call. You text me those 3 things. Now, after that, you can text whatever you want. I'm cool with that. But roll call is specific. I love to know who are the people I'm hanging out with every day. Where are you hanging out? And the how part, that just fascinates me. Because there's so many different ways to listen on the Zone. Yeah, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM, but we got the Zone app. We got radioagaland.com. You can tell Alexa play Zone 1150, and there's more. So text before 1, get yourself registered, and the ticket booth is open thanks to Dixie Tire Company. I'll be right back. It's the Louis Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. It's the Louis Bellina Show, Monday on the Zone.
We are going. Are you ready? The Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. When we get tired, we play harder.
It's time. Oh, here we go!
Let's go! It is the Louis Bellina Show. Halftime. 12:36. We hang out till 2 o'clock. We crank things up at 11 o'clock. It is the Louis Bellina halftime and I'm still going with the Monday thing. I'm inside the Charles Schwab studio. Air conditioning works. Extremely comfortable, I must say. Support, and I'm talking about if you go at Charles Schwab, that means you get Mark Sim right here in Bryan College Station. Local. He's your support. And when you have local, and you have Charles Schwab on your side with Mark Sim, you get that modern approach to wealth management. Schwab, Mark Sim, they have the financial planning to meet your specific needs. Why did you call them? They got you covered. But the flexibility to adapt as those needs will change with time, and they will, in ways that you've never imagined, don't think of, it's just not on your horizon. But Charles Schwab in the years and years and years, and Mark Sim with the years and years of experience, they're ready. They got your back. Learn more at schwab.com/College Station. This hour, college football, Aggie, 1 to 138, just looking, having fun, setting up the summer. A&M's 8, by the way, 8 in the country, which Aggie football, if I saw them 12, I wouldn't be mad. But to be honest, they're top 10 in every pre-poll. And I'm fine with that too, because I look at the teams around them and go, well, if they're there, A&M should be there too. Every team, we looked at that most complete rosters, and it magnifies There is no complete roster. It's most complete, and there's a reason why that word was chosen most. And then the 1 to 138. Here's A&M if you take those numbers. A&M will open the year against Missouri State. 126 out of 138. Glorified scrimmage. All good. Arizona State, second game of the year. Kyle Field is 39. I like Arizona State. And when I think about future schedules, I do wonder, will Arizona State be the quality of opponent? Will we go back to having Notre Dame? Will we go back to be playing Clemson? Like, 9-game SEC schedule, you have 3 non-cons. One of them will be your 1AA/Missouri States, bottom 20 in D1. And it should be. I understand it. I have no beef with it. But are we going to get a top 15 team, top 25, top 35? Arizona State can be top 25. I have no problem with a school that caliber, but every year, if that's the highest, look, I don't know how much you pay attention to the rest of the country. Arizona State games are being canceled by everyone in the SEC. The elite end, some are locked into their ACC rivalry matchup, and they're stuck with their top 25. But I look up, and I'm seeing games against top 50 teams being canceled. Like, some schools are abandoning any semblance. They're all taking the Indiana route now. If Indiana plays a single team in the non-con that's sub 75, the media is alerted. But it worked. Kansas State, Bill Snyder, if you remember back in the day, he'd play 4 1AAs if you let him. So it's all philosophy. I wonder what A&M scheduling philosophy will be long term. It's not A&M's fault that Arizona State will be 39. They potentially could be much better. If we want to be all fair about it, right? They potentially could be much better. Okay, back to the 1 to 138. So Missouri State 126, Arizona State 39, Kentucky 58, and some think they could go 6-6 in bowling. End of the first month, and I'm going to repeat this for the 50th time already. The last game of each month is the key game of the month for Aggie football. LSU 13. You can buy it, you can sell it, but here's the thing that bothers me. It's almost the first time that LSU, they will have their own 3 games under their belt. So it's about time for things to start to come together for them. It's not the first game, which every first game for every team. And then when you play a nobody, you really don't know. Most development happens from game 1 to 2. But even then, the things you developed, you still have to go to game 2 and execute. I feel like games 3 and 4 is when things start to come together. And A&M LSU, game 4. So I think that's the first chance to see what LSU Lane Kiffin looks like in A&M and Baton Rouge. They're 13. We go to the month of October. Aggies home, Arkansas 62. I think it's going to take a couple of years to rebuild Arkansas because Satterfield, he has to rebuild the entire program from the ground up, and that's not going to happen. I mean, you can do it a lot quicker in a portal world, but now there's 1 portal, not 2. Remember that, by the way. 1 portal, not 2. He's got work ahead. Missouri, you tell me the status of Hardy. Not just he's back, but the status with the lost offseason. I just hope the kid's okay, to be clear, but with or without, it doesn't matter. I tell you a million times that styles make matchups. And I just think that Elko beats Drinkowitz 99 out of 100. So I don't care where they play him. And remember, Missouri A&M, permanent rivals, right? Every year. That's a dub. Last game in October in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And they're 11. They're 11. You got to show up and play. And it's going to be on the road. It's going to be night TV, ESPN or ESPN, the Ocho, whatever. So that's not an easy dub. But I feel like that game is if you take care of you beat Alabama, the end. It's not very complicated, is it? If A&M's really like a 10-win team, they beat Bama that day. If they're an 8-win team, they lose. The final month, at South Carolina, 32. Home Tennessee, 17. Anyone else confused by what Tennessee is in the Josh Heupel era now? Are they a top 10 team that's anchored around 20, but they're sure not 15? They're a threat to you if you have a screw-up kind of weekend, but they're not a threat. They're spinning their wheels. Or, let me give you an or. Or did the Nico Amaliva, remember the situation, got there, and obviously it didn't work out. I would say from the way his whole situation played out, does it strike you he was a leader? Does it strike you like why his first year even didn't go as planned, let alone then when he leaves the way he did and they couldn't do anything to, like, he set their program back. He set their program. It was such a mistake. Is that all that happened? Or is there something else going on? But by now, after the start, Tennessee's not what they should be. Is it just the Nico mistake? Tennessee 17. And then the final two games, Oklahoma in Norman, 10. I hate having OU and Texas back to back. That's the toughest 2-game stretch by a month. There's not even a closer, tougher 2-game stretch in the whole year. And of course, that involves OU, whose defense will pick you up, body slam you, bite your ankle, throw your head into an exposed turnbuckle right before you host Texas on a short week. Hate this combo, but, it's not supposed to be easier. Everyone would do it. But OU is 10, and you're in Norman. And then on short holiday week, where you practice like one day, you host Texas, and Texas is 2. So that's how it breaks down. A&M schedule 1-138. Missouri State 126. Arizona State 39. Kentucky 58. LSU 13. Arkansas 62. Missouri 21. Alabama 11. South Carolina 32. Tennessee 17. Oklahoma 10. Texas 2. You have a total of 6 top 25 teams, 2 top 10. Tough, not the toughest. Is it brutal? No. Is it hard? Yes. There's a difference. Last 2, though. OU on the road with their defense headed into Texas. Toughest stretch of the schedule easily. A quick timeout. We come back. We wrap up the lunch hour of the Louis Bellina Show. Lunchtime, of course, thanks to Rudy's Barbecue. This is, I just said it, didn't I? The Louis Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric on the Zone.
The Money Machine is open now. 2 ways to enter each week.
Oh, come on. Don't keep us in suspense.
Zone1150.com and the Zone newsletter.
Thank you.
The Louis Bellina Show inside the Charles Schwab studio. The Louis Bellina Show, inside the Charles Schwab studio. We're heading to 1 o'clock. In our final hour, I got to listen in. Aggie softball. Coach Tricia Ford met with the media after their season ended at the hands of Arizona State. Also, we're doing another Aggie baseball listening, believe it or don't. We didn't get to hear all the players we wanted to. We heard Caden Sorrell after the Game 2 victory. We heard Michael Early after the Game 3 victory. I want to hear Bear and Ethan Darden after the series win. So we'll go back to the Diamond Sports in our final hour together. What I want to do right now, though, people have been texting due to roll call. Rock on. Here's what people have had to say. Big G and Brian made me kind of, LOL, lol? He said, that was my favorite George Strait song, Turn It Back. He texted me that after we were playing Rob Zombie. Good one. Pruna in College Station said, Louis, scenic Navasota, 3 months until college football, and the Rangers finally won a game against the Astros. I don't think I've ever heard the phrase scenic Navasota before. Not that there's anything wrong with Navasota. I do want to be crystal clear, but scenic? Navasota got a poker room, got Wallflower Meadery, and got the Brazos Valley Bombers for the summer. Navasota's rocking, folks. Ray in South Texas is listening on the Zone app. Go Ags. And he said, so glad I'm old enough to just sit back and appreciate a wonderful victory over a top 10 team and not worry about petty things like a TV broadcast team, which, by the way, I thought was very neutral. Tim in Houston. Oh, Tim from Houston, which would be from Houston, not in. I got it. I feel like in softball, we have some of the best facilities, players, and coaches in the SEC. My only question is, do we have a robust NIL program for this team as well? Tim from Houston, I got a two-part answer. Why do you think we have some of the best players? What makes you think that? Have you looked at the SEC statistics and looked at where they ranked? Did you look at how many players from A&M made first-team SEC versus the players from Alabama or Florida? Why do you think A&M has some of the best players? I think that's a dangerous assumption. And then robust NIL program. It's not S tier. Texas Tech went and bought $1 million pitcher who single-handedly last year dragged them to the College World Series. And then this year went out and bought like 3 All-Americans to support them. Now, they strangely enough didn't get a top 8 national seed, but at least they advanced to the super regional round a year after being in Oklahoma City. I do not know every dollar figure number. A&M does not have an NIL program with the top tier programs. Nobody has Oklahoma's, to be clear. But why do you assume A&M has the best players in the SEC? Like, where did that come from? They have many good players. I'll move on. Reno and Pettibone, listening in Rockdale on the car radio, 11:50 a.m. Britt, driving around Brian in the work truck, listening on 93.7 FM. Roy Brantley, listening on the Zone. Which Zone? There's 11:50 a.m. It's all Zone. The Zone app, 93.7 FM, 11:50 a.m. It's all Zone, man. So when you text, we're doing roll call. Who are you? Where are you listening? There's many zones. And, who are you? Where are you listening? And how are you listening? Randy in College Station said, Fresh Corn is my hero. He didn't text more. That's fine. Fresh Corn's incredible. Even though Fresh Corn was depressing in Game 3. Aggies battled back so hard to take the lead in the bottom of the 7th. And 3 pitches later, he yacked it up. It's Game 2, he was brilliant. He's been brilliant all year. He's an All-American closer. So I hope when I make that statement, people aren't freaking out on me. But when he gave up, what was it, a double and a 2-run shot, 3 pitches, I'm just sitting there dumbfounded. He's so good that when he does anything not good, it's stunning. So I was stunned. Ted Scalaban, Bryan, Texas. 11:50 on his clock radio at home. Nice. Chris in Somerville, listening in Somerville on the phone app. Hi, Shay here, listening in Bryan, Texas on 11:50 a.m. The Zone. Jay Hardy, AM Radio 1150 in Madisonville. Shannon, College Station, Zone app. Congrats, women's tennis. Great job, baseball. Chris, I love Aggie athletics right now with women's tennis national champs and other teams in the tournament. He works remotely at home in College Station. He's listening with the KZNE phone app. Dale and Tabor's listening on 1150 AM app from 2 miles south of the Tabor store. Nick, class of 23, Main Street in Taylor, Texas in his work truck, streaming his show on the Zone app. This is from Gary and Reader Sellier. I hope I got your last name right. I apologize if not. Class of 78. 11:50 a.m. streaming. Working on the farm just outside Troop, Texas. Gig 'em and keep entertaining from Gary and Oorah. Oorah, my brother. Where's Troop, Texas? Where's Troop, Texas? Anybody, just real quick? Remember something. I'm mathematically impaired. And I'll tell you something. Not only am I mathematically impaired, I'm geographically impaired. I'm not a navigator. Let's see. Logan and Burton, listening on 1150 The Zone in Alleytown, Texas. All right. Jack and Lindsay, what's up? They are listening from Lubbock. Oh, I'm so sorry. Aggie baseball's getting hot at the right moment. Whoop to Aggie women's tennis. Whoop is correct. Troy is in Bryan College Station listening on 1150, and he says he's too old for Sunday night concerts. I'm not yet, but I'll tell you what, they get more tiring as time goes by. I'll be back. Final hour to go. It's the Louis Bellina Show.
Marty and McGee.
I always tell the story about the guy in college. He goes, I want you guys to call me Butthead. And we were like, all right. And the next day when he was sober, we're like, you really were going on this Butthead thing? He's like, yeah, all right. And I mean, I'm talking like 3 years later, he'd be on campus like with some girl. We'd be like, hey, what's up, Butthead? And he'd be like, I don't even know what his real name was.
Get ready for the
Marty and McGee, Saturday morning, 6 to 9 on the Zone 1150 AM, 93.7 FM.